Okay, yeah. Which one's the one?
Okay. While Kyle gets himself set. Hello guys, hope you're well. Same process as ever, if not with about 4 times as many people. We've got microphones on either side, so you can let me know you'd like to ask a question. I'm not going to promise that we'll get to all of you, given how many there are. But we will do our best. If we can take questions from English media first, please, or English-speaking media at least. And if there is anything in Spanish after that, we'll try and take a couple towards the end. Somewhere to start, please? Simon, thank you.
Kyle, hi. Your battle last week with Vinicius Junior was one of the highlights, highlighted on social media after the game. What's it like to play against someone like that? Is that an ultimate test, and how important is that personal battle in winning the game?
Well, good afternoon. First of all, I don't think it's just about A and B. I think it's a team game, and obviously it is a personal battle where you're coming against one of the best players in the world. But I've faced many over the years that have been just as good as him, but I think he's in the form of his life. So whoever is picked to play in that position to defend against him, it's going to be a great battle.
Mike?
You can tell by the attention in this room how big this game is. How big is it to you? How big does it feel to you as a player?
I think it's big to every one of us in that dressing room. We know the goals at the end of it. It's a massive week for the club. We've put ourselves in, a fairly good situation, compared to 2 months ago, and that's in the Premier League. But moving forward into the Champions League, to go to the Bernabeu and get a 1-1, to then bring it to the Etihad, where I think we've been, more than confident. In the last number of years, especially in the Champions League, to go and get a result. Just hopefully we can, go and do that again.
Hi, Kyle.
Hi.
The manager said last week before the first leg that one day this club will win the Champions League, whether it's this season or in the future, but it's all set up to do that. But do you as a squad feel everything you've been through, that you've learned being in a final before, and all the experiences, that you are equipped to do that this season, that you're ready to go all the way?
I'd have liked to do it when we first got to the final against Chelsea, of course, and win it then. But I think it was a learning curve, and it was this group of players have been together now for a good number of years, where we've been able to, overcome situations, be in winning positions, be in losing positions. Remember the one against Tottenham where we thought Aguero scored and we're almost through, and then they go and score at the other end. So we've gone through, rough and good moments, but hopefully now, this is the icing on the cake, where we can go and obviously put our name in the history books for this club, and put this club on, the Champions League map, really.
Carl, just coming back to Vinicius again, can you just tell us what goes through your mind when he's got that ball in front of you and he's running at you? Because he's got the pace, hasn't he? He's got the skills, and like you say, he's in the form of his life at the moment.
I take it as any other game. You have to show him the level of respect. It's like I said with, Mbappe when I played him in the World Cup. You give them respect that they deserve, but you're not going to just say go and walk through and go and score. I'm representing Manchester City. I'm representing a massive football club here, and the ambition for this club is massive. So if I can't compete with these top players that are playing for Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, Chelsea or whatever it may be, then I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be sat in this chair talking to you. I need to make sure that I come against the best, and I can deal with the best.
Hi, Carl. Ben from Sky. Carl, it wasn't that long ago that you had found yourself out of the side, and the manager sat right there and he explained to us why you weren't being selected at that point, and he was essentially saying there were certain elements of your game that you weren't able to do from what you wanted in that position. You've obviously since got yourself back in, but when you heard what he said that day, how did you react personally to that?
I have to react as a professional. He's my manager, he's my boss. Sometimes, certain opinions in football you don't always agree with, but for what he's done for me in my career, especially what he's done for Manchester City in the last 6 years that I've been here, has been nothing short but tremendous. So did it hurt? Of course it did. Of course it did. I wouldn't be sat here lying to you and saying it didn't hurt. Of course it does. You start to doubt yourself, but I think that you just have to go back to basics. You have to go back to what you're good at, what he bought you for, and prove him wrong. And I think that's what I've just done. I've just got my head down. I've made sure that I'm with the lads. You know, I'm one of the captains. I need to make sure that, you know, my disappointment isn't shown on the team as such. You know, and I move on as professional as I can be.
Simon.
Hi Kyle. It was a difficult period for the team in kind of December, January, February as well. Did you feel at that point in the season that you would still be able to end up where you are now in the Premier League and Champions League and FA Cup?
Champions League, I thought we was doing well. The Premier League, it was a big gap. Now, you didn't want that gap to get any bigger. I thought we was on a fine line of we lose another one or we draw another one here. It could be all over. But with this group of lads, nothing's over. We seem to kick on in the business end of the season. I've seen a few tweets, and we were having a little bit of joke with Gundo yesterday. He turns into Prime Zidane, doesn't he? In the last couple of months, but that's just what these players do. You know, the born winners, the top world class players, and sometimes you have to shine, and these seem to do it. You know, in the business end of the season.
Hi Kyle. You mentioned the Mbappe thing there, and obviously we all made a big deal of that at the World Cup, and yet that night, although you didn't win the game, passed off pretty well for you. There's a couple of incidents on Sunday at Everton where you kind of came across and got your team out of trouble with your speed. You're 32 now, as you once were. Do you think you're still as quick as you always have been? And if you are, is there any particular reason why you think you've managed to maintain that while some players don't always want to get the other side of 30?
Okay, I'm 32, but I'm not old. I still feel great. I still feel fit. Bar the injury where I ruptured my groin before the World Cup, I've kind of kept myself, you know, relatively in good shape. I look after myself on and off the field. You know, I try and make sure that I get the work in the gym to make sure that my muscles can cope with the load that I'm putting on them. And I probably have to say a big thanks to my mum and dad. It's genetics, because, you know, as you said before, some players do start to slow down, but I think one of the lads in the sports science was saying I hit 37.5 the other day in the speed thing, so I don't seem to be getting any slower, and long may that continue.
Hi Kyle, another speed question, because I looked at the UEFA stats which show that you have 35.2 as your maximum in the Champions League, which is the exact same as Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
So my question is, who is actually the fastest one, and can you give us an insight in your speed battles and in the training ground?
Well, the manager doesn't like to really do things over big areas, so for both of us we take probably quite a little bit of time to get up to speed, but I think Erling's very, very quick. I think he's shown that with some of the goals. Other strikers, you know, that I've played with don't really make them chances. Sometimes he does create chances just by his brute strength or his speed, and you know, that's an asset that he has to use, but I'd still have to back myself.
Caio, going back to that moment between you and Vinicius after the final whistle last week, why did you decide to go and hug him? What did you say to each other, and the message that you are opponents but not bitter rivals in an environment especially that he has to live in Spain?
I went to hug him because he tried to rainbow flick me. So it was kind of more like, please don't try that again, because I don't want to be a meme or anything. But I think, you know, boxers, they fight, they have a good battle, and then they shake hands after. And I think that's the level of respect that I do have for him. It was the same with any other player, that I feel when it's a good game, you know, you go and give them that level of respect because they deserve it. You know, they're carrying a lot of pressure on their shoulders as well to take, you know, a massive club like that, you know, over the line in the Champions League. They've not done well in their league, and, you know, this is their kind of the last prize that they need to go and win. So you show your respect to him, but as again, tomorrow night, if chosen, you know, there's no respect after the whistle. I'll give him the respect that he deserves, but before then, you know, it's kind of dog eat dog.
Hi Kyle, talking there with Simon about the kind of rough patch that City had a couple of months ago, and you saying there was a big gap in the Premier League. As one of the captains, what conversations were you having as players during that patch, and how have you managed, in your opinion, to turn it around? Because obviously now the team are flying again.
I don't think it's just us as captains. I think it's us as a club. it's easy to start talking in front of everyone when you're winning. When the going gets tough, you know, that's when your real characters come out and you start, you know, digging in and you're in the trenches. Now, okay, we're not fighting relegation, but we should be up at the top, and this club is, you know, over the last number of years expected to be challenging right up there with the league. So when we was adrift all them points, it wasn't ideal, but we knew that if we just kept on digging in, kept on grinding out the results that we needed to do, go on a little run, as we have done, we can close that gap. And, you know, the manager kept on saying to us, as long as we can, you know, get him to the Etihad in a close gap, you know, I think the title race will be on. And we gave that to him and to ourselves as well.
We're going to move to any Spanish questions if we have them. Any questions, Spanish media? At the top left, please, Liz.
Hi, Cal.
Hello.
In English.
Oh, perfect.
I'm Italian, so my Spanish is a bit rusty.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, what is Champions League for you? And if you can explain as a player, why this competition is so important that even a great manager like Pep Guardiola says that his time in Manchester will be judged if he wins it or not?
Well, you have to just look over the road at Manchester United and what they've probably accomplished over the number of years. And when you get compared to that team, to our team, you know, they won countless titles. We've done, you know, 5 in 6 years, hopefully, you know, if we can cross the line on this one. Which still isn't over, by the way. You know, we still need to go and get results at Chelsea, Brighton or Brentford, which is, you know, tough places to go, which we've experienced over the number of years. But the club's missing that one. The club's missing that one, and I think for, you know, the owners, the amount of, you know, money that they've pumped into this club, the investment that they've done, you know, we owe that to them. Now, to get to the Champions League final against Chelsea and probably not perform as well as we do, we owe that to ourselves as well, to kind of get some, you know, some revenge for ourselves, because we knew that was below par on that day. But again, we've got a tough opponent come tomorrow night to try and get past to get to the Champions League final. Then, as we've just seen before in recent years, it's a final. Anything can happen. You know, AC Milan, Inter Milan are two top massive clubs. So we will be watching that game tonight and studying it hard. But again, the first thing is getting past Real Madrid tomorrow, and then let's see about the final.
Hi, I will try in English.
Okay.
I want to know your opinion about how is Vinicius on the pitch. Do you think is him a provocative player?
I wouldn't say a provocative player. I'd say he's a very good player. He does what he needs to do to get his team over the line. I try not to get involved in it all. You know, if there's something going on or someone's, you know, we'll call it trash talking, it doesn't really bother me. I've been through, you know, things in my life that are more difficult than people trying to wind me up and get a reaction out of me. But I think that he just lets his football do the talking. You know, they've seen a few clips of him going down a little bit easy, asking for yellow cards and stuff like that. It's part and parcel of the game. You're going to get it as soon as you can get an advantage on your opponent. You will try anything to do that. And, you know, but I do think, let's not take his football away from him. He's a very top player.
Lovely. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Nice try, Jim.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you.
Again, please, guys, we're going to take a show of hands. As I say, I won't promise to get around everyone, given the amount of people in the room, but we will do our best. We'll take questions from English media first, and then any from Spanish towards the end. Somewhere to start, please. Start with Richard here.
Hi, Pep. Before you've talked about how Man City haven't always embraced the Champions League, the fans that is, but you haven't lost here at home in the Champions League for 5 years. Do you think the fans have embraced this competition more, and how important will they be tomorrow?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, good morning to everyone. Yeah, of course, embrace it. We are used to play this competition for last years and arriving last stages for the last year. So, yeah, of course, embrace it. I'm pretty sure. The club told me sold out everything, so we'll try to do a good game.
Yeah.
Pep, you're just 4 games away now from the treble and from sporting immortality. Do you accept that this next month could define your legacy as a manager and your team's potential legacy as one of the greatest club teams in modern history?
My legacy is already... No, my legacy? Our legacy is exceptional already. So we have been here for many times already. So we are not stupid to know how important is tomorrow's game. Is maybe one of the most important games since we are together here. We cannot deny that for the competition, for the rival, for the for many things, but I said to the players, so leave it like a huge opportunity, enjoy the moment. How fortunate we are incredibly lucky to be here. And it's in our hands, it depends on us, we don't have to do, I would say, something exceptional, it's just to do ourselves and win one game to reach a final. And we're going to give everything, we're going to do everything. I have an incredible feeling about the team, and whatever happened. It's just thank you so much to them to bring us, all of us City fans, to be here again.
Pep, the game tonight obviously massive. How do you view it from an emotional sense? Do you want your players to play with emotion, and feed off the crowd, or do you want them to sort of ignore all of that on the outside?
The emotion is there, and the emotion will be high, have to be high in these games, but this is going to beat a team like Real Madrid. You have a game plan, you have to execute it a little bit better than we did it in the first leg, so we have to adjust something, we have to do it a little bit better to create more chances, or be, our strikers, our people up front get more balls in easy position, knowing that the transitions, the ball possession of them, the quality they have in all departments are really, really high, but could not be different. So we play against Real Madrid, semi-final Champions League. We expect the toughest opponents we can face right now in the last years, but this is a challenge. So we embrace it, we get it, and go for it.
Hi, Pep. Hi. You always talk about how your team arrives at a particular stage of a season. So this game tomorrow evening, is it arriving a perfect moment for your team, the way it's playing? Players all in form, I don't think anyone's injured. Is it it could be any better, perfect maybe for you?
Yeah, we arrived really, really good for the fact that we are in the FA Cup final, we are one game away to win the Premier League and semi-final Champions League, but at the same time, we have to play much better than Madrid game. So at the end, you can arrive in a good moment. It's perfect here, but you have to perform well. It's not just with the desire, the dream. It's just I tell him, so relax. So all you have to do is what you have done many years, I would say, or especially this season. So this is what you have to do. So not just for the desire to reach the final we are going to do it. I had the feeling I had to do better than Bernabeu to reach the final.
Pep, you seem more comfortable talking about how the City ownership want to win the Champions League. What do you think this change of tone says about you and the growth of the club?
I said many times, when I arrived here, I signed the contract 7 years ago, didn't tell me how to win the Champions League. I met with Chiqui and all the people said, try to, the reason why they bring me here with my staff to do the best as possible. But of course, we cannot deny, so we won all the titles except this one. And we want it, of course we want it. This is another opportunity. We had 2 seasons ago when we lost the final against Chelsea last season, against Madrid this season again, and we want it, of course we want it. With all desire, and I think with being intelligent and smart enough to do what you have to do to win that game. And this is what we wanted to do. People say, yeah, we are close, for this kind of titles. I think we are far away. So come down the most difficult games to play right now. So, but in the same time, every time it happened last season when we played against Madrid, or previous season against Chelsea. It's a dream, it's a dream come true. It's a dream come true to be here. So again, nobody guarantee in the future we'll be here. Nobody can assure us. So once we are there, let's go. Try with our people. Go for it for the first minute until the end. Be together in the bad moments that will happen. Defend and suffer in the bad moments. And with our people will play with 12 tomorrow. I'm pretty sure of that. With our people, we will do it.
Hi, Pep. Just on the fans and the atmosphere, do you feel like it is now tougher for opposition teams to come and get a result on nights like this?
I know they will be close to us because they know what we have done this team for the last years, and they will not leave us alone. I'm pretty sure. They will, in the bad moments, they will sustain us, they will be with us, and the good moments, and you have to put, of course, the pressure we have to put the opponents our game. So we would love to play with all the fans, but we play 11 against 11. It's our game will dictate what you have to do to reach the final. But of course, in the bad moments, if they are there, and they will be there, so we're busy.
Hi, Pep. Up here. Kevin De Bruyne was obviously on the bench at the weekend and didn't come on. Has he been training normally of late? Is he fully fit ahead of the game tomorrow? And similarly, have you got any other issues fitness-wise in the squad ahead of this game?
Except Nathan, the rest is everyone is fit.
Thank you.
Just go to Paul here, please.
Hi, Pep. You've spoken, I think, in the past, since you've been here, really, about City having to learn how to play in this competition and how to behave in the later stages, because it's not something they were used to as a club. Given that, and given Real Madrid's pedigree in this competition, who is favourite tomorrow night?
I don't know. I'm not able to do it. I don't know. Of course, we learn this competition because we are at lesser stages every season, so otherwise, but the little details. So I don't want to lack for tomorrow, but I don't want to lack it neither. So I just, the team who deserves to win, hopefully he wins. So it doesn't matter which one, hopefully we will be. I know how we have to perform well. That is always my focus. I have to put in my mind, in the heart of the players. They have to make an incredible performance to beat Real Madrid. Otherwise, it will be so difficult. I have an idea to do something differently that we have done and that is just for the fact that to be more fluid in attack. But I think it's going to happen the natural way for the fact we play at home. At home, we have the feeling that we feel, wow, free, relief. It doesn't matter what happens. We go there, and that is a feeling I have, and I think hopefully tomorrow we can have that feeling. It's only I'm concerned. So be ourselves tomorrow. It's only the rest. I placed 10 semi-finals for the Champions League and I lost 8, so I lost more than I won 7. I lost more than I win, so I know that feeling. So and always I had the feeling that, football, there are many things you cannot control, but at least to try to be ourselves. That is my only wish for tomorrow for my players.
Pep, you said a minute ago that you need a better performance this week than the one last week in Madrid. What aspects of your game?
No, you will. Hopefully, you can see tomorrow. Right. I cannot tell you here. Otherwise, Carlo will be. It's nothing special, so don't think I'm going to do. I'm not overthinking tomorrow. Don't worry, guys. So nothing differently that we have done in the past. It's just to our game be more fluid and play a little bit better, knowing that. Of course, the opponents always have the weapons.
Hi, Pep. You said earlier this season against Leipzig that you didn't want it to be a transition game because it could be a toss of a coin. Yeah. Last season against Madrid here was 4-3. Is it the same for tomorrow, that if it's a transition game, that it gives Madrid more of a chance, and is it important that you control the game?
Well, how we like to have the game I had the last season here. I will sign right now. Not for the way we played, but I think it's not going to happen. Listen, sometimes the game dictates a little bit for itself, transition, the movements, how you lose the balls in certain positions, how you fluid with the ball, how accuracy you have when you have the ball in certain moments, how you defend, or how the impact for the unexpected things, how you react. This competition is a lot of this kind of uncertain things that you cannot control, not even a manager, of course, but the players itself. So, yeah. So we will see. We have a plan. We're going to try to execute it and try to adapt as much as possible what they do, because of course maybe they do something different and you have to adapt.
Hi, Pep. Do you remember in the first season you won the first 6 games and maybe we got carried away, and you were telling us in the media you've still got a lot to learn and a lot to improve on. But did you ever expect at this stage, first of all, to still be here and for the team to be so consistent and so good year after year? Did you ever expect the team to get as far as they have done?
No. After 6 games the first season? No. First, I would not expect 7 years sitting here. And no, I didn't expect. I have an incredible self-confidence in myself, but not enough. So, because this league is really tough, and the Champions League always, happen. But that's why I said many times how pleased I am to this consistency for many years. Still is there.
Last one in English, guys, and we'll go to Spanish today.
Hi, Pep. Carl Walker was just in here. Hi, Pep. saying that he felt that the players owe it to the owners to win the Champions League, given the commitment and all the investment that they put in over the years, over the last decade or 12 years. Is that a view that you share as well, that they're owed this tournament?
They don't have to put much pressure about the owners or myself, or they have to do it for themselves and perform. I think the players, they don't know us anything, because they have done anything in the past. So last season they did it, and the previous one. So they have to just play a football game as best as they can. It's not necessary to tell them what does it mean to Real Madrid in this competition, how good they are. So they know it. They felt it last season. They feel it this season. It's just to live. We are blessed, to be here, and that is what they have to feel.
Hey guys, moving to Spanish.
Hola Pep, aquí Jorge Picón para Relevo. Has hablado en varias ocasiones de la grandeza del Madrid en esta competición, lo has calificado como el rey de la Champions. Yo quería saber si tú pudieras explicar por qué el Madrid es tan superior en esta competición, por qué, aparte de buenos jugadores, suele llevarse casi siempre las eliminatorias.
Pues una buena pregunta, no lo sé. Si lo supiera, pues intentaría tener el método para copiarlo, pero no lo sé. Pero básicamente lo que diría, por la razón por la cual, es que siempre han tenido jugadores de altísimo nivel. Sin jugadores del nivel que tienen este año, el pasado, los anteriores. Cuando el Milán ganaba con Saki y Capello las Champions, o nosotros las ganamos con el Barcelona, es porque teníamos jugadores de mucho nivel.
Hola Pep, buenas tardes. Miguel Ángel Díaz de la cadena COPE. Para el partido de mañana quería preguntarle qué es lo que más teme del Madrid y si dentro de los buenos jugadores que tiene el Madrid hay alguno por el cual sienta especial debilidad, que le guste más que el resto.
No, el Real Madrid por sí solo ya es el Real Madrid, da igual el año que enfrentes, competición que enfrentes, siempre tiene un gran nivel. Esta competición siempre la he afrontado pensando mucho más en qué hemos de hacer nosotros para ser nosotros, no por falta de respeto al oponente, sea el Madrid o cualquiera, sino porque esta competición tienes que responder muy bien contigo mismo, y para eso la mejor manera es hablar mucho de ti mismo, y eso es lo que hemos intentado hacer siempre en esta competición, y mañana lo intentaremos. Evidentemente conocemos al Madrid, ¿significa que al conocerlo lo vas a controlar del todo? Pues probablemente no, pero intentaremos con nuestro juego minimizar sus virtudes.
Hola Pep, aquí Abraham Romero del Mundo. Has hablado del legado, has dicho que era excepcional ya ahora mismo en Manchester. Quería saber qué es para ti el legado, y si en ese legado, en tu cabeza ahora mismo, faltaría, para pasar de excepcional a otra palabra superior, la Champions.
El legado es que se lo han pasado de puta madre durante todos los años. Eso es el legado. Y que en muchos años recordarán que hubo una generación de jugadores y gente aquí que durante 5 o 6 años pues hicimos muchos goles, nos hicieron pocos y ganamos muchas cosas y jugamos muy bien. Ese es el legado. Y que se recuerda. Con un buen libro, pues se lo recordarán aquí en Manchester, en Europa probablemente, y en esto toda razón, si no la ganamos pues no nos van a recordar, pero nos lo pasamos muy bien. Ese es el legado. ¿Yo qué quieres que te diga? Estos 6 años aquí me lo he pasado teta y me lo sigo pasando, y esto es lo mejor que puedes dejar.
Hola Pep, en la rueda de prensa después del partido de la ida comentaste que tenías una idea sobre cómo plantear el partido. En esa idea, que no pesa más imponer vuestras fortalezas o también has trabajado mucho intentar atacar las debilidades del Madrid.
Bueno, trabajar no hemos trabajado mucho porque jugamos hace 2 días en Liverpool, aquí cerca, y ayer fue recuperación y ahora vamos a entrenar esta tarde. Mucho tiempo no tenemos. Es que no vamos a hacer nada distinto que Carlos no sepa, ni que nadie aquí que nos conocen más aquí en Inglaterra que no sepan. No vamos a cambiar nada. Porque es que no hay tiempo y no tendría sentido. Y cuando planeas un partido piensas evidentemente en ti y evidentemente piensas en el oponente. Es decir, en una semifinal de Champions, sea el Madrid o cualquiera, ¿cómo ignorar las virtudes o posibles defectos del oponente? Es imposible. Y en estas estamos, evidentemente hoy lo hablaremos un poco, entrenaremos un poco, y todos a casa, y mañana nos encontraremos a la tarde a las 4, 4:30, y prepararemos un poco, comeremos, nos alimentaremos, hidrataremos y cogeremos un bus, que como sabéis es a 1 minuto de aquí, y nos iremos a jugar el partido.
Hola Pep, buena tarde. Quitado el partido de Sevilla, en el cual ganáis de manera holgada, el City no gana ningún partido como visitante en Champions, empata siempre. ¿Qué papel ha de jugar ahora el Etihad para mañana ser más fuertes y ganar al Madrid?
Ser nosotros. Europa es muy complicada y fuera de casa lo es, y es verdad que incluso en Sevilla ganamos, pero tampoco hicimos un partido muy brillante. Es una competición difícil, pero tampoco hemos perdido. Hubo un año que en el año que de la final de la Champions ganamos todos los partidos de la fase regular, de las eliminatorias también los ganamos todos y empatamos solo uno en Oporto cuando ya estábamos clasificados, los demás lo ganamos todo, casi fuera, y perdimos la final. Es como mañana a las 8 de la tarde UK Time haces tu mejor partido. No existe otras competiciones, las ligas, las premias. Es decir, ese momento tienes que levantarte, vestirte bien y hacer el mejor partido posible. Si no, no te alcanza. Y en esas lo intentaremos. Y para eso hay que pensar mucho en ti mismo y a ver qué eres capaz de hacer.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.